A new generation of designers is on the rise. These designers are expected to be a lot more than just one trick ponies. The new age designer X, as we are calling them, are expected to bring a little bit of everything to the table. They understand the basics of sustainability, how their designs would impact things like climate change and culture. And they would also generally know a little bit of coding as well. These design generalists are the products of a new era of Design Education 2.0, if I may. This new wave has been sweeping through India's universities. Today, about a dozen OP Jindal in Haryana, Maharashtra's Flame University have started their own design schools. Some of these universities are making an entirely new pitch. Take Gujarat's Anant National University and Haryana's World University of Design, for instance. They are promising to pump out a new batch of designer X's. They're leaning into the industry's demand for a well-rounded designer who's also a technologist, a strategist, a sustainability advocate, and a lot more. And to keep up with that demand, these universities are finally seeing the vision of the National Institute of Design, or NID, which has been the North Star of the design world for well over 6 decades now. Anant National University's Anunaya Chaubey puts it quite well. He says that designers aren't just meant to beautify things, they can create solutions. The whole perception of design has shifted. In fact, just last month, IIT Delhi announced a new certificate course in design thinking. It quoted multiple reports explaining why aspirants should be taking that course. One of them was a 2023 Deloitte report that says that companies that integrated design thinking into their innovation process brought new products to the market 50% faster than others and saw 2.5 times more revenue growth. And this isn't just the industry that is demanding a new kind of designer. The role itself has become far more desirable. There was once a time when everybody wanted to be an engineer. But like Rohan, a principal design manager at a global tech company, said, now everybody wants to be a designer. And that is because of the opportunities that designers are getting today. They're no longer the sidekicks. They have finally got a seat at the table. In this episode, we dive into how universities are racing to train India's next design generalists. Welcome to Daybreak, a business podcast from the Ken. I'm your host Nigdha Sharma, and I don't chase the news cycle. Instead, every day of the week, my colleague Rahel Philippos and I will come to you with one business story that is worth understanding and worth your time. Back in the day, design was seen as more of a support function in most organizations. One senior design manager told the Ken's reporter Lifia Khan that there was invariably one odd designer for every 10 engineers. But now, there is a growing number of funded startups and product-led companies, and there is a high design maturity, which was not necessarily there before. People are taking design way more seriously now. And as design maturity grew, so did the paychecks. Typically, designers who've just graduated are paid anywhere between 9 to 15 lakh rupees at tech, product, and commerce companies. Designers who Olivia spoke to say that there is a sharp jump from about a decade ago. Rohan, a principal design manager at a global tech company, said that the biggest change is that designers are now called as early as the building stage as opposed to when the product is already ready. And it's not just the tech or product companies. The demand for designers in other sectors too has increased, including industrial design, manufacturing, healthcare, and education, among others. And all of this is possible because of design thinking. In Anant National University, this is a user-centered, creative problem-solving method. Design thinking is crucial for designers to navigate tasks like policy making, automobile design, customizing the same product to work for clients in different geographies and sensibilities, or even helping companies meet their ESG targets. The scope is really quite huge. The whole point of design thinking is to come up with creative solutions. The former dean of the National Institute of Fashion Technology, Sanjay Gupta, gave us a great example of creative thinking in action. He talked about the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, India's national level cleanliness campaign. Sanjay said from building communication campaigns to brainstorming fundamental solutions, design thinking came into play at every step of the way. For instance, in some villages, women refused to use toilets even after they were constructed because they were used to going in groups, and that was the only time that they met and stepped out for the day. So, for these villages, public toilets were constructed with only half a wall separating cubicles so that the women could have privacy and still talk. This was a design solution. But to reach this level of efficiency, Gupta says that design has to be understood from a much wider perspective. And that is where universities come in. More on that in the next segment. Most universities that offer design degrees try to ensure that students have a well rounded generalist approach by allowing them to pick from a wide variety of subjects as their minors. For instance, at Flame University, students can pick from electives like psychology, culture studies, and even entrepreneurship. Then at Anant National University, Bachelor of Design students can major in subjects like moving objects of interaction design and minors in feminism, literary theory, or business models. In a majority of these design courses, there is a lot of emphasis on sustainability and climate action. But a common thread across most design schools, including NID, is the inclusion of tech and business courses as electives. In some of these universities, coding is also a compulsory subject for designers. The expectation is not that they become pro coders, but they have a general understanding of the process. It's not that the interdisciplinary approach here is entirely new. Schools like NID have been offering a variety of subjects and exposure to a whole range of technical skills for some time now. But the mediums have changed, and of course, the courses are packaged better. But the big challenge that many of these universities are facing is hiring the right kind of faculty. There is an extremely limited pool whose priority will be the older and the esteemed institutions like NID and NIFT. Plus, faculty with industry experience are the real deal, and getting them is very expensive. So, what ends up happening is that most of these new schools end up competing with each other to bag the right faculty. As for opportunities, there are many. But with design schools popping up at every corner, recruiters want students to be careful of their options. Even the hiring companies are aware of which design schools have what kind of faculty and industry exposure, which ends up dictating the kind of roles and packages that they are offering. So, one thing is clear. Now that more universities have entered the picture and generalist designers are becoming a dime a dozen, landing good jobs is going to get tougher as the job market matures.
Daybreak is produced from the newsroom of the Ken, India's first subscriber-focused business news platform. What you're listening to is just a small sample of our subscriber-only offerings. A full subscription unlocks daily long-form feature stories, newsletters, and podcast extras. To subscribe, head to theken.com and click on the red subscribe button on the top of the Ken website. Today's episode was hosted by Snigdha Sharma and edited by Rajiv CN.